Hi, I'm Isaiah Twombly, and today we're going to be recording about the Occupy Wall Street, the Occupy movement, and we're in Tucson, Arizona right now. As you can see in the background, there's tents of the Occupy Tucson movement. People, we're going to go do some interviews, ask a couple of questions about them, okay? Alright, let's go. Hi, I'm Isaiah Twombly, and I'm here with Sky, part of the Occupy Tucson movement. What are you out here for?
I'm here to be with others of like mind and to have a place to live and sleep and be together and to share, to help each other, and that anyone who needs can come here, and it's multi-generational, and I feel like this is how we should be living. I always felt like this is how it was in the old days, and I'm hoping that this can continue and become that.
Are you aware of the Occupy Wall Street movement, how they're talking about corporate businesses and such, right?
No, I don't really watch the news, just what people tell me. I don't watch TV or I don't read the news.
Okay. What do you think other people are out here for as well?
Well, I think some of the young people have a lot more strength and energy than me, and they want to fight. You know, but you'd have to talk to them.
I noticed anything. Do you know anything about the Robin Hood tax? What is that supposed to be about? It's saying that pretty much everybody inside of this country everybody that has money should be able to pay a tax and distribute it among other people like Robin Hood would.
I think that sounds good to me. I remember one year when Jerry Brown was running against, before Clinton was voted, between Jerry Brown and Clinton. And Jerry Brown suggested that if each person gave 13% for 1 year, the debt would be paid off. But I like the idea of limiting.
Alright, I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay.
Go.
Alright, I'm here with Lando now. And Lando, why are you part of this movement?
Not exactly sure. I'm just homeless, really.
Just homeless?
You know, I just moved to Tucson. I got here Tuesday, like 4 days ago, and it's better than sleeping in my car, you know, while I'm trying to get a job, you know, filling out applications like whoa. But yeah, it's kind of like what Sky said, to be here with people of like mind, and you know, to peacefully assemble.
Is it hard living out here like this at all, with all these, like, alone?
It's not too, well, at least I'm not alone, you know, like I used to live just outside of Flagstaff on Forest Service land, and so, I mean, at least I got people around here I can talk to, you know, because I used to just hang out in the woods, you know, talk to trees and talk to animals and shit like that.
If there was are you in favor of the Robin Hood tax? Are you aware of what it is? It's about.
I don't really watch the news. I find it too depressing.
I can see a lot of people do not watch the news and stuff, but it's good to keep in the know every now and then too. So the Robin Hood tax is saying that, you know, people that are working right now, if they all pay a tax, they would distribute it among everybody inside of the United States pretty much, like, you know, Robin Hood of Locksley would do, like steal from the rich, give to the poor, but it's not stealing, it's a tax.
Yeah.
Are you in favor of that?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So what, have you gone to school at all?
Like college?
College, yeah.
Nah, it's not for me. I'm in the school of life.
School of life?
What I call it. Every day is a learning experience.
Yeah, every day you live, you learn something, huh?
Certainly.
Yeah. Alright, thank you though. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Alright, so interviewing those two people that were part of the Occupy Tucson movement, it seems like none of them really know the entire movement's about. It seems that they're out here, they're homeless, they're just doing a thing, but we did run into a person earlier who did say that he's against the entire corporate America thing, but he's wearing Nike shoes, which is a corporate company. But he declined to an interview, he doesn't do that. But it seems like we're gonna go look around and see if we can find any other people that are more intelligent towards this movement. Alright, so let's go.
I would my company abilities, but not really. Oh, huge. Well, this is not, hopefully later these...
All right, I'm here with Jack Schaefer. He's part of this Occupy Tucson movement. He's been camping out here for a while. Jack, what are your personal beliefs on this entire thing right now?
Well, again, they are my personal beliefs, but that the fact of the matter is the corruption is so blatant and it's such a travesty of lobbyists and the influence of corporations on our political figures. I've come to terms with the fact that your vote it doesn't matter anymore. Your dollar has more power. Who you give your profits to and which companies have those mega profits matters a lot more than your yearly vote. Your dollar has more power nowadays, and that's just a blatant fact. And I find that to be an absolute travesty. Also, when I heard about the Citizens United case about money being free speech, I was beside myself, but I had no idea how to even try to make a difference on that, and then this kicked up, and I joined this right away.
All right, so you obviously know a lot about what's going on here. We talked to a couple of other people here who are just homeless people just trying to get a free ride. Do you think that's okay?
Well, I think them being here is part of the reason why there's so many problems. They have a story to tell about the economic conditions of the United States. And I think that they drive home a point of income inequality and how we just treat people that have nothing. So I think, do I think it's okay? Personally, no, but I think that them being around gives us an extra point. It shows us why we're doing this so that we don't end up like them.
Yeah. So you're completely against the whole corporate America business and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I absolutely believe in the separation of corporation and state. That needs to be enacted so strongly, but it's just so hard to do when the politicians have no backbone and they do exactly what the big moneyed interests are.
Oh, so they're corrupt. It's more of corruption with what you think, right?
What I personally believe, yes. I don't care what the rich can go ahead and get rich. People can work hard and earn that living for themselves. I personally believe that. It's just at a certain point. I read this the other day. You don't earn $100 million a year. You steal $100 million a year. There's nothing that you can do for a community, for a society that's worth $100 million a year. Even if you own a business and sold $100 million worth of goods, you're not giving back, you just own it. There's nothing you can contribute to a culture that's worth that much money. So I'm fine with you making money, but at a certain point, it's just greed, it's just gluttony, and it's just avarice and damaging to the majority of people.
What do you? I've heard this other times, like in Occupy Wall Street down by in New York. There's this is kind of off topic, but there has been cases of violence. There has been cases of sexual harassment. Is any of that happening out here at all?
Well, yeah, unfortunately, with every other sort of community that we're trying to set up, we have our own smaller version of what happens on the larger scale. We've had to enact peacekeeping forces. Peacekeepers who walk around making sure that this is a very nonviolent movement and that it remains nonviolent. And yeah, there have been some very drunk people that come through, and then we've had to ask them to leave, and they run their mouth and they do harass females and men, and it's a travesty that it's a smaller part of what everybody has to deal with. So we do have some of that, and we have people there to try and make it as nonviolent and as peaceful for everybody as possible.
Mm-hmm. Also about the Robin Hood tax. What are your views on that?
I've not heard about that. If you can inform me.
The Robin Hood tax is saying that people that make money, pretty much, that are working right now, they have to pay a certain tax, and that tax is distributed amongst everybody in the United States. Pretty much like it's tax. Like Robin Hood would do. You give from the rich, take from the rich, and give to the poor. Do you believe in something like that?
The Robin Hood principle of taking from the rich and giving to the poor. Well, Robin Hood at those times, talk about income and inequality. It wasn't even considered. It was a king and then the slave. So comparatively, the tax rate of the rich in this country, back when we were strong, we had a strong center, was higher, and now after about Reagan, it got lower and lower. So those taxes have already been there, and as what was her name? Not Warren Buffett. I don't remember this woman's name. She said that nobody's gotten rich on their own, and when you do get a fortune, you're shipping your goods on public streets. The children that are getting hired in and going to college are doing it in public venues. So Robin Hood sense, not so much. It's not that bad yet. But as far as paying the wealthy, the supremely wealthy, paying a higher tax percentage, I do agree with, and that pays into everybody. That also pays into the wars and into all the things that we don't agree that where the tax should go. But that's just when I said we, I mean I meant I. So Robin Hood, not so much. But I do think that the top need to pay more. They don't pay as much as the fellow bottom percentages.
You seem really educated about this, so I'm going to bring out this thing. It's more right-wing people towards this movement, people that think that they have opinions and comparing this to that of socialism and communism. What are your views on that?
I don't think that they have opinions. I think they're being told what to think by News Corporation. But if they would stop and step back. Okay, one of the greatest ironies I see are those signs that say "Stop Socialism." They put the word socialism on a stop sign. A stop sign is socialism. It is a taxed thing that it's there for the public good, provided by the public. So I just love that irony. As far as socialism and communism go, there have been successful forms of government. When you take them too far, we need a mixture. We need those who work hard so that they can gain their capital. I'm fine with working hard and getting that, but we also need to make sure that the poverty and that the poor don't get so desperate as they start to attack those that have who have plenty. So when you go out and you try to take money from every possible corner of our society, and then you erect gates in your house and gate up your windows and put alarm systems on there, the people who would want to get to your stuff are doing it probably either for drugs or for other desperations, and you're not addressing the problem. If you just want to put them straight into jail, I know I'm kind of ranting. If you just want to put them straight into jail, though, that's not where the problem is. You need to address the individual troubles and their mental problems. That's the best way to secure you. But as far as communism, socialism goes, I don't see this as that. I see us just trying to be good people to each other, and I don't see what's wrong with that. I'm personally not a Christian, but I absolutely love the values of Christianity, and a lot of these right-wingers are supposed to be Christians, and they don't. They just say, I got mine, Jack, and stamp out the little guy, and they're fine with that somehow. So I don't see this as that. I see this as trying to just make a warning, sounding a warning that this is just the beginning of a long thing, and if this gets ignored, then those who are less peaceful than us are going to come next. That's what I personally feel.
All right. So this movement, it seems that it's not that much of a large scale right now. Is that because of the Veterans Day Parade right now?
Yeah, I don't know where everybody is. Actually, I just showed up right now, about an hour ago. I don't know what's happening. I didn't sleep in the park last night, but yeah, the Veterans Day Parade is somewhere else. But this movement, I mean, the Occupy movement itself has 65 cities across the United States and 2,000 across the planet. So I don't see this as a small movement. There's less people here, but because they're doing other activities.
Yeah. So do you think this movement's going to grow and continue? And if it does, how long are you guys willing to do this?
There's a lot of people here that are more dedicated than I am. They're willing to go to jail for this, to stand up for the belief that you don't need permission from the government to protest against it. You don't need to get a permit from the government to protest against it. So there are people who are willing to go to jail. I personally don't think that that's a good tactic. They're willing to go that far. How far will this go? Will this keep growing? Yes, I completely agree. I think this is a meta protest. All the other protests and all the other problems have been stemming from those who try to change and set public policy about xenophobia, about wars, about anti-immigration issues. And this movement here is just everybody coming together going, enough is enough. We're sick of it, and the 99%, I like to say there's 99 problems here. You got to talk to other people. You have to address each one because they're all here for a different reason. Some of these people are getting foreclosed on. I know them. They're down here because they literally have nowhere else to go, and they tried to do it the right way. They're not here for a handout. They're here to because they are that desperate. They want also Medicare. There's a whole list of things. Yes, this is not going away. This is only going to grow, and we're doing it peacefully now. You know.
You brought up the point that you're doing this peacefully. That means that the peacekeepers, police, are on your side. I've also noticed that there's every now and then there's children's like the young boy right there. Are they part of the protest here, or their parents just dragged them out here?
I have no idea who that is the parent of that child. Yes, there are parents that come through with their children all the time. As far as the peacekeepers go, no, we have our own working group in Occupy Tucson called the Peacekeepers, and they wear the orange vests and they walk around making sure nobody gets violent. The police officers, of course, they have helped us with the more violent and drunk and disorderly from the other parks. But you know, they also give us the citations. They're part of the 99% too. Actually, they're just doing what they're told, and that's an unfortunate situation. But as far as the children, yeah, people are safe down here. They can bring their children and show the kids what this is all about.
All right, you brought up the point about the comment 99%. Who is the 99%, and what does it mean to be part of the 99%?
Well, the 99%, that distinction came from the fact that 1%, the top 1% of wage earners in the United States is defined by $350,000 a year. Now, it shouldn't even be the 1%, it should be the 0.1 and the 99.9%, because at $350,000 a year, that's about $400,000. Those are lawyers and doctors. We're not angry at them. We're talking about the people who make $10 million a year, who set these public policies that go through the revolving door of government and private institutions and lobbyists taking away the voice. I just have so many things. But the 1% is defined as those who, what is it? The top 20% of Americans, of wage earners, own as much wealth as 85% of its wealth. The bottom 80% only have enough capital of 15% of America, and they also are paying the majority of the taxes. So that's the distinction of the 1% versus the 99%.
So the 99% versus the 1%, it's kind of a metaphor in itself, right?
Yeah, well, it's we're specifically angry at those who are making not even the 1%, again, like I said, those who are making the majority of the money, who are then using that to influence the public policies and get on television and spread the messages. So
I thank you for your time. What's your name? Jack
Schaefer.
Now,
Thank you.
If I could ask one more question.
Sure.
Have you guys ever had major issues with the police? Because I've heard from a few friends of mine who support this act and support what you guys are doing, that Oakland had riot police and flashbangs, tear gas. Have you guys ever had any issues escalating to that point?
No.
Or
No. Well, when they did kick us out of Armory Park, and that was completely peaceful. They told us to leave, and we did so immediately. There were no injuries at that event, and we moved straight away without people getting too upset and fighting. So there have been no major instances with the police at all.
was there any? What was the main reason for leaving Armory Park? What was the police?
What they said was, all right, that happened, I think November 3rd or November 2nd. On November 5th, there was a woman that had a permit to the park for the procession of Little Angels. We were in contact with her, and she was willing to work with us. She actually needed our help to help set up tables and everything, but they came through and cleared out and said that they were clearing out the park and cleaning the park to prepare for that weekend's events, which was that one, even though she needed us. So that was their excuse. They might still use the same for clearing this out for people who get permits here all the time. We don't actually know who has a permit.
All right.
So, are you guys interested in maybe getting a permit to protest out here? You did bring up a point. You don't need a permit to protest the government from the government to protest it.
Yeah, my point of view on that is that I personally believe that you don't need permission from the government to protest against. That's my point of view. But as far as getting the permit, we talked about it at our General Assembly, and I can tell you how that goes. And they talked about not getting it because it kind of flew in the face of what we were trying to say here. that we don't need its permission. We did talk about it, and we'd also need to get insured up to $1 million. So it was voted against to get that permit for this movement at this point.
All right. So you also said Armory Park. You guys were ordered to vacate that area. Is there any plans in the future to reoccupy Armory Park, or are you guys just going to leave that?
Not as far as I know, and they are staking a police officer on the grass every night now since that happened to make sure that we do not set up tents there. So that we're personally being banned from that area right now. Is there future plans? No. There was chatter, there was rumor about occupying other parks around Tucson, not just downtown. But I don't know much more than that. Talking about Reed or Udall, but people were just throwing those ideas around that didn't come up to the General Assembly.
Thank you, though. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the interview.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Is there anybody else that you know that might we could interview? All right. So, what does bailing out people mean? I've seen signs that said that. What does it exactly mean, and what is it?
Well, the bailouts, the banks got, when they got into trouble, they said, oops, we kind of screwed up the money. Oops, we had such blatant corruption, and oops, we were responsible for the subprime mortgages, packaging those and making a huge profit off those. We were facing an economic collapse, and they needed trillions of dollars injected in, which, by the way, debases the value of the dollar, which we don't agree with. Trillions of dollars injected in so that they could get their bailout. What the people here are all angry about. Personally, I was working at Citibank as a mortgage collection agent at the time of 2008. When the bailouts happened, when the stock market crashed in 2008, I was talking to people and like, you banks got bailed out. Why can't we get bailed out? The people are struggling here. You're not helping us, and that's personally what it is. That the people feel completely left behind by the leaders and by the powerful, and they're looking for that handout. They're looking, the right wing say that they're totally against socialism until the very powerful need socialism, which is what bailouts are. The public took on that debt that they got helped out with because of their mistakes. So we feel that the people are too big to fail. The banks can go ahead and they can go ahead and fail. The people are too big to fail, and they need the social support. They need those bailouts, those socializations. They need that help.
So, are you, in American point of view, not as in the past view, but as in an American view, do you think America would be better as a socialist nation, or would it be worse?
I don't think this would work. This grand social experiment would work as a socialist nation. I think there are too many people who are too passionate about not helping everybody. I don't think that this would work that way. But if you look at the prosperity of the past and what the tax rates were for the super rich, they were definitely higher. I mean, during those struggling wars, it was at a higher tax rate than it is now. We're only at 43% for the top tax tier, and if we could just get that to 46% or 48% and start funding our schools and our education systems and less on building bombs, then I think America would become strong again. We would start getting those jobs back here because people would become educated, and we wouldn't be going into debt fighting people that we have no idea why we're even there for. So as a socialist nation, no, that's not going to work. But I think any country works well as a mixture of socialism and capitalism. So as a purely socialist, no. As a mixture, yes.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey. Okay, so earlier you said you didn't show interest, you showed acceptance. What is that? What do you mean by acceptance?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just trying to help get done what needs to be done, and we have an image to maintain, so I have to be part of that. Because otherwise it's going to be somebody who provides a really negative image, which I've seen way too much of in the last 2 days.
So you're saying a lot of people out here are not completely motivated towards this movement. Is that what you're saying, or no?
There are some people that don't exactly know why they're here. They just know that it's a really great place to camp out and get free food.
Okay. So But do you think that these people have the right to be here even though they're not?
Public park, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
We just hope that we're able to persuade them to not mess with what we're trying to do. It's about as much as we can do.
What about this entire movement? What are your personal beliefs on this entire movement right now?
That is way too large a question to be asking unless we have a very, very long time. And depending on the mood, the answer is going to change anyway, whether I'm pessimistic or cynical or optimistic, whatever. I mean, generally, we're all here for social injustice stuff. Student loans, the bank stuff, our welfare nation, the unemployment issues, every bit of it. We all know what the issues are, healthcare stuff. The fact that women and men can't get jobs that are the same paying, whatever.
That seems good. Do you think we have enough, Thomas?
We've got about 11 minutes left if you want to interview more people. I think we've got quite a bit.
Do you think we got what do you think? All right, so we interviewed 3 people. 2 people didn't know what the hell they were talking about, and the last person seemed very educated, and looks like that we were interviewing the first 2 people were the wrong people to interview on this. The man that we talked to, Jack, was very well educated on this. He was very passionate about it, and it looks like this movement is going to grow, and there's no sign of it decreasing at all. We missed a lot of people here because of the Victory Day parade, I mean not the Victory Day parade, the Veterans Day parade, and due to they're actually doing something out there to increase this movement. So far it looks like, in my personal opinion, I'm not for this movement, and according to a cameraman's point of view, who will remain anonymous, does support this view. Is there anything you would like to say behind camera?
Honestly, what I think on this, it is I support this, but I do support this idea. They have the right idea. They do what Americans are supposed to do. They protest what they protest, and they fight for what they believe in. Granted, I'm not 100% on this idea. It's a good idea. I do support some of the ideas, but I'm not, 100% I love this, I'm gonna come out here every weekend. They have the right to be out here. They do what they want to do, to an extent though. They don't fight with police. As we've interviewed Jack, he said they have had a run with the police and they left peacefully. They had no trouble with the police. Unlike Oakland, who had riot police and flashbangs and tear gas, this is different. It depends on the city as well. Honestly, I support the idea. It's a good idea, but am I gonna be out here every week? No, I'm not gonna be out here every week.
You also pointed out something earlier while we were talking. You also said that this country, like on Battlefield 3, they said this country was founded by terrorists for terrorists. That, I would not say it was more of a joke. I mean it was. We did go against it, but that brings up a very important point. These people are regular Americans doing what Americans are supposed to do and what they're always going to do. We protest. We have the right to that. Other countries like Somalia and Libya, they have to fight. They have to stand up to gunfire. They have to kill their president, like Muammar Gaddafi. All that. We are the very most lucky country in the world that we have this kind of freedom to protest this. And that's why this is a great thing. This is going on YouTube, and I hope to see another rise on another kind of movement like this, but more towards my beliefs. Thank you.
And also put in also with this, the whole Battlefield 3 comment, it was more of a joke, but if you think about it, in hindsight, America was founded by a terrorist organizations, also known as Americans. We broke away from the British. It was the revolution. That's what a revolution is technically to that government. History is written by the victor. Now, I'm not blowing shit out of my ass right now. I'm trying to keep it real. Even though these are quotes from a game, that behind every word spoken, there is truth. That's all I can say now.
What about fablabratitude? That's not even a word. What's the meaning behind it? Voice!